Hello everyone and hello travelers. So this is Aiza from Travel With Me Aiza, and today in this video I will be sharing with you the 8-day itinerary that I created back when we went to Osaka, Japan in the middle of April. Osaka is the third largest city in Japan next to Tokyo and Yokohama. Again, since it was so large, we decided to just stay in Osaka for the next 8 days with a side trip in Kyoto and also in Nara. So, without further ado, here is our 8-day itinerary in Japan. Sit back, relax, and enjoy my video. So for day 1, we arrived via our flight at Cebu Pacific, arriving at Kansai International Airport at around 6:30 in the evening. We had a light snack at Lawson's in the Kansai Airport and then headed to the train for a 55-minute train ride to our hotel, which was located in Namba. After settling in our hotel, of course, we went straight to Dotonbori, where we did some sightseeing and of course to have dinner. We ate at one of the revolving sushi restaurants here in Dotonbori, and after that sumptuous meal, of course, we went back to the hotel to rest because we knew our day 2 would be long. For day 2, we woke up early and allotted the whole day for Universal Studios Japan. Since I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, we decided to go first in the wizarding world of Harry Potter and also have our lunch there at Three Broomsticks. We roamed around the park, and at the afternoon, we got our timed entry tickets and went straight to the Nintendo world. This is something you shouldn't miss. It was really mind-blowing. This place is really very nostalgic and will bring you back to your childhood days. Prepare your pockets also because the merchandise is a little bit expensive. My suggestion is to go around first and then buy whatever it is that you like. I suggest, of course, the popcorn bucket. My tip would be for you to go on a weekend, preferably a Tuesday, a Wednesday, or a Thursday, and of course, also wear comfortable shoes. Keep yourself hydrated, and of course, if budget permits, buy an express pass. For day 3, since we had a very long day at Universal Studios, we decided to sleep in until around 10 o'clock and then had brunch at Kurumon Market. I suggest you try their Wagyu beef, their grilled scallops, their sushi, their uni, and their grilled octopus. Everything was really good, even the dessert. I suggest you stay there for 1.5 hours to 2 hours so that you can try out and savor all the dishes available. After that sumptuous lunch, we headed straight to Osaka Castle. This is really a must-see whenever you go to Osaka. The castle was really majestic. We were also very lucky because we were able to still see cherry blossoms even though we went there at the middle of April. There's also a museum inside the castle and also a viewing deck on the 8th floor. We spent around 2 hours roaming around the castle grounds and then rode a bike going back to the train station so that we have a better view of the outside of the castle. After a trip at Osaka Castle, we got a little bit tired, so we headed back to the hotel to rest for 2 hours and then headed straight to Dotonbori to have dinner. During that day, we ate the famous takoyaki and of course the Daruma's kushikatsu, which is a must-try whenever you go to Osaka. After that, we went midnight shopping at Don Quixote. Just make sure to Google first the closing time of the Don Quixote shop you are going to, because some close at 12, some 2, and some 5 a.m. We shopped for 2 hours in Don Quixote because everything was really cheap. After that, of course, we replenished everything by eating ramen at 2 a.m. in the morning. It was the best. For day 4, we had our brunch at Gyokatsu Motomura. This was really one of the best katsus that I've ever tried. Prepare to line up for 30 minutes to 1 hour because this is a famous restaurant in Osaka. After our lunch, we headed to the Tempozan area to go to the Glion Museum. This is a must-see for car lovers and car enthusiasts. It was a museum of vintage cars and it was really very good. The entrance was 1,200 yen per person. After going to the Glion Museum, we headed straight to the Tempozan Ferris wheel. The whole ride is around 800 yen and is 20 minutes in duration. Riding it would give you a panoramic view of the city of Osaka. Just a few meters away from the Ferris wheel is the Osaka Aquarium or the Osaka Kayukan. This is also a must-visit place in Osaka, especially if you have kids. This is one of the biggest aquariums in the world. Get to see different marine life such as crabs, penguins, whale sharks, hammerhead sharks, arwanas, and more. Ticket price is 2,700 yen per person. For day 5, we headed to Denden town, which was just 1 kilometer away from our hotel. If Tokyo has Akihabara, then Osaka has Denden town. Since Gian and I are both toy collectors, this was really haven for us. Most of the toys here compared to the Philippines is around 50 to 60% cheaper. If you're like us, prepare your wallets. I'm sure you'll be able to buy a lot of toys. My suggestion is to allot your Sunday here in Denden town. They normally close the streets for Mario Kart. If you're lucky, you'll probably see one. Of course, a trip to Denden town would not be complete without going to a maid cafe. Now this was a one-of-a-kind experience. Me and Gian went to Maid Dreaming Cafe and got entertained by 2 kawaii girls. There's usually a door charge. In our case, it was 880 pesos per person. Then, you order the package which gives you either the omurice or the parfait. It was a nice and fun experience being surrounded by very beautiful and kawaii girls. Just look at how I was so happy dancing. Now, after our trip to Denden town, we headed back to the hotel to rest for a while, and then we headed straight to Team Labs Osaka. Now, if I may be honest, this might not be as good as the one in Tokyo. There were just a few exhibits here, and I think this one could have been omitted in our itinerary. I probably would have stayed longer in Denden if I was given a chance to rewrite the itinerary all over again. Tickets were at 1,800 yen. After our visit to the Team Labs Osaka, we headed straight back to Namba and had dinner at one of the izakayas in front of our hotel. We ordered yakitori and it was really the best meal that we have had in our 8 days in Japan. Their specialty was the grilled beef tongue, beef skirt steak, and asparagus with bacon. Just talking about it now makes me realize how much I miss the restaurant. Now, having been immersed in Osaka for the past 5 days, we decided now to get a 1-day tour from Klook for a Kyoto and Nara trip. The tour package was an 11-hour trip that includes Kikakuji Golden Pavilion, the Arashiyama Bamboo Grove. We also headed to the famous Fushimi Inari Shrine, where 1,000 torii gates were located, and lastly, we also went to the Nara Deer Park to see the Todaiji Temple and the Buddha. Don't forget to try their snacks such as the Daifuku, which is the famous mochi with strawberries. This tour costs 4,900 pesos via Klook, which we had to book in advance. It already includes the bus ride and all the tickets to the sites. Our day 7 was allotted for shopping day. Since we needed energy, we started the day with a good meal of yakiniku in a random restaurant in Dotonbori. Next, after our lunch for shopping, we headed to Shinsaibashi, which is just the street adjacent to Dotonbori. There were many shops around, including Daimaru, Daiso, and many more. We ended our shopping with Japanese crepes. That late afternoon, we headed to Shinsekai to go and see the Tsutenkaku Tower. When going there, don't forget to play their carnival games. Me and Gian had a fun time trying the shooting game. As you can see, I won a few treats. The game costs 500 yen, which includes 8 tries. After that, we headed to the Tsutenkaku Tower. The tickets to go inside is 700 yen. Here is the view of Abeno Harukas from the top of Tsutenkaku. Don't forget to rub the feet of the Bilikan statue. We went down the tower and exactly it was already nighttime. Thus, the streets of Shinsekai were now more alive. Shinsekai would transport you back to what Osaka looked like back in the 1980s. Then for dinner, we headed to the famous Jumbo Churibune Churikitsu restaurant. It was a nice experience to eat in a boat-like restaurant. As you can see here, the dining area looks like you're inside the boat. Then in the middle, you can see different kinds of fish. You can opt to catch your own fish. Whatever fish you catch will be the meal that you will be eating that night. Just be prepared since they say sometimes it takes a few minutes before you can catch a fish. For our 8th and final day, we headed over to Umeda Sky Building to go to the Koji Kinutani Tenku Art Museum. If you're a fan of visual arts and maybe a creative, then this place is good for you. Unfortunately, we can't take photos and videos of some of the exhibits, so we opted to just take a picture of the entrance and the exit. The museum is located on the 27th floor, hence this was the view. The museum also housed a small coffee shop where we had our lunch. We ordered waffle, calzone, and clam chowder. After that, we headed to Umeda Daimaru to go and visit the Nintendo World. Of course, we had the side trip in the store of Doraemon, who was my favorite. There was also a Capcom store and there were so many cute toys. I really wanted to buy a lot. Next, we went to Gion's favorite, the Nintendo World Osaka. Prepare your wallets because there were so many merchandise available. Next, you can also see in the Daimaru, the Pokemon store. Now this really had a lot of people inside. Or I guess there's really a lot of Pokemon fans out there. This is a must visit if you have kids or if you're a kid at heart who's really a fan of Pokemon. Just look at all these stuffed toys. It's so kawaii. After our trip to Daimaru Umeda, we headed back to the hotel to get our luggage and headed straight to Kansai International Airport. Japan was really a gem and I can't wait to go back again. I think an 8-day trip would be enough, but I think a 10-day trip would be better. All in all, we spent about 80,000 pesos for our 8-day trip each. After 4 hours, we landed back in Manila. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked this video and subscribe to my channel. Happy travels!